Are you looking to grow revenues, increase profitability, or obtain financing? If so, you came to the right place.
Running a business is all about leadership. How do you become a better leader? Learn from the successful entrepreneurs and business owners how to lead your organization more effectively. That's why we created Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business, to help you succeed with your host, Andrew Frazier, Business Growth Pro and CFO and founder of the Small Business Pro University. Every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're joined by experienced entrepreneurs and business owners who share their secrets to success via live stream. Also, every Friday morning, we release a new podcast episode. Either way, you will learn about developing your business leadership skills from our roster of highly performing guest experts. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbprou.com.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. This is your host, Andrew Frazier, and excited to be back with you one more time to really talk small business. Each week I love to have new guests and really new topics and key things to, really chat about leadership and how you can become a better leader, how you can be more knowledgeable about business so you can take your business further and be more successful. So that's what it's all about. So thanks for joining me. Always a pleasure. As you know, we appreciate your comments. Feel free to ask questions, and we'd be glad to have our guests speak to them. And as well, if you haven't gone to my YouTube channel and subscribed, it's a good idea because then you'll have access to a lot more content and some great other episodes and other things. So welcome to Leadership Live at 8:05. And tonight we have a great guest this evening. So we've got Jimmy Newson. We're going to talk about content that converts. In this day and age, content is king and queen. So you really have to understand, how does content work? A lot of people create it, but does your content actually convert? And does it work? There's some key secrets that you need to understand on the digital marketing side that we're going to address tonight. So let me bring on my guest, Jimmy Newson. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing this evening?
I am doing fantastic. How are you, sir?
I'm excellent. Thanks for joining me once again. Always a pleasure to have you on. You always drop a lot of knowledge for people to really understand the digital world, because there's so many things going on and it's always changing. But, content is a constant. You're always going to need to create more and more content. But there's the good ways and not so good ways to do it. And some content works a lot better for you than others. So,
absolutely.
As a returning guest, a lot of people probably know you, but some don't. So maybe if you could take a minute just to give a quick overview of your journey, and then we'll jump right in.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know me, my name is Jimmy Newson. I'm known as the Impact Influencer, and influencer not in the way of Instagram influencers or things like that, but more about influencing small business owners to play bigger, to play better, to improve, and to impact their communities. So I'm the founder of Moving Forward Small Business, which is a digital membership platform for the small business community. And our goal is to save 1 million businesses from failure by the year 2050, leveraging innovation, technology, and strategy. I'm also the founder of Jimmy Newson Consulting and the senior advisor of the New York Marketing Association. So at the end of the day, I spend a lot of time speaking to a lot of small business owners nationally and also internationally in regards to growth strategies, digital marketing, mindset, because a lot of this stuff everything is interconnected. And like Andrew said, there's so much to do. It can definitely be somewhat overwhelming. And the key here is to not try to eat the whole elephant, is take small bites, and the strategy part needs to come in, because you can take tons of small bites, but if you're not taking the bites in the right area, you're not going to move the needle the way you need to. So you do have to be strategic about these small bites that you're going to take, so it can definitely chip away at the bigger picture, which are your goals. What are your goals for the quarter? What are your goals for the year, for multi-year? So we really like to focus on looking at that. And these are the type of things that we talk about. And that's kind of what we'll talk about today in this, because the content marketing world and the opportunities in content marketing are humongous.
Excellent. Humongous is a pretty big word.
Yeah, because I mean it.
All right. Well, humongous it is. So, at the, first things first, when you're creating content, what is content? What does it mean when we say content? Because, everybody throws around that word, but
absolutely,
let's make sure we're all on the same page with that.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with the Content Marketing Institute describes it. So I'm going to do it because obviously if they're named the Content Marketing Institute, I would say that they know a thing or two about content marketing. And they say content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience, and ultimately to drive profitable customer action. So it's meant to be tied to something that becomes the reason why they're there. So there has to be a next step. After they consume your content, what is the next step? And if you did the job correctly, the next step is to interact with either more of your content to go deeper, or to become a customer at that point. So, and there's different ways of doing it. And it also depends on the type of business you're in, the sales cycle, if is it a low level product? And when I say low level, I mean more of a low value product that's $19.99, $29.99, or is it a huge purchase like, hiring a consultant at $1,000 a month? So every one of these will give you different avenues that you need to do to create these content. So I'm going to give a big shout out to Karen Denton. I look forward to seeing her on Thursday at your big event. So huge shout out to you, young lady. But yeah, so content marketing, and there's two different things before I turn it back over to you. There's content marketing strategy, and then there's something called inbound. And I'll be going back and forth between inbound, because inbound is very specific to a journey a single individual takes that when they're leveraging your content. And then content marketing in general is just the type of content that you're putting out, whether it's on social media, it's on your website, whether it's through your email marketing campaign. Every time you communicate with a customer or a potential customer in any way, that's content marketing.
Excellent. So content marketing, a lot of great things going on there. So Karen's here. We got Alejandra as well, and look forward to seeing Alejandro at the Power Breakfast and conference on Thursday too.
Absolutely.
So anybody who's known some of the things we've done over the past years, we did the Power Breakfast events, and this next Thursday, this coming up Thursday, we're going to do a full day conference. So you're going to learn a little bit more about it as we go. And I put a link in the chat in case you want to check it out. And hopefully you can join us either live or via live stream. So Jimmy, you talked a little bit about content and inbound, and you do a lot of different types of content. So you've got blogs, you've got posts, you've got all. Can you just go through some of the different types of content that you should be thinking about as a business owner? And then from there we can delve into some specifics on each in terms of what you should be thinking about it. But what are the key types of content you should be creating as a business owner?
Sure. First of all, shout out to John. What's up, buddy? It's good to see you, sir. There's all types of content, and at the end of the day, you're probably producing some level of it. It's just about what's your level of consistency. So blog articles are a simple form of content. Video, any form of video is content. This event that we're doing right now is content. It's going to be repurposed, maybe chopped up. It might be, it may be what we call long form, where the whole thing is being played or on a replay, or chopped up, small pieces are taken apart and then leveraged to drive traffic somewhere. Again, social media, any type of social media post or ads, podcast are considered a level of content. Lead magnets. There's so many different types of what we call lead magnets, and lead magnets are pieces of they're like the carrot you dangle in front of people to get them to take an action. Give us your email address. Try a free trial of something like that. So that those are forms of content. Testimonials are forms of content, because the content, again, will attract the customer or the potential customer, and then ultimately, again, could drive profitability, especially if you look at a testimonial. A testimonial is a bottom of the funnel type of content that usually people want a validation. Think about when you go to Amazon, and before you make a purchase of something, sometimes you might read a few of the reviews just to confirm that people were happy with the product before they purchase it. Well, that's content allowing profitability for the person who's selling the product, So in emails, when you're sending out emails, you want to be specific about the language you're using in an email, because that can solicit an action. And the key here, I think, where a lot of people get things wrong is whether it's an email or a newsletter or video or whatever, or a blog post. They slam it with tons of different, here's 18 different ways you can work with me. And if you want to confuse somebody, give them too many opportunities to figure out how to work with you. There has to be an alignment. And when there's an alignment with what's the title of the content, what is the body of the content, and what is the action that you need to take for that exact same piece of content, if you can align that, you're going to have a better opportunity of some level of a conversion.
Excellent. So definitely, content is everywhere. And especially now in the digital age, especially with COVID, it's become even more and more important. Actually, my business is basically a media business, and it's transformed. And to be successful in this environment, you really have to step up your media and your content strategy. So it's good that we're able to talk about that. And actually, we'll be talking more at the breakfast. You're doing the panel on what every business owner should know about digital marketing. So definitely Thursday afternoon. So if you haven't been to the Power Breakfast, or you don't really know what it is, here's a quick video to give you a feel for what to expect.
That's cool.
How about you?
Hey guys, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm looking for a place to grow my business and to network. Where can I go?
You've come to the right place. You should be going to the Power Breakfast.
That's right, Andrew. The Power Breakfast is the place for entrepreneurs and small business owners to access the expertise, tools, and resources they need to compete effectively.
So this is my first time being at the Power Breakfast, and it's just amazing to be in a room full of powerful people in the community. Seeing the economic development that's going on in the city is amazing. So I'm just so happy to be here. It's my first time here, and I'm definitely going to be back.
Good day, everyone. Hey. It's your girl, Precious Williams, the killer pitchmaster, and I can't wait to see you at the Small Business Power Breakfast and Conference. Be there or be square. I know you're going to be there.
If you are looking to increase revenues, improve profitability, and or obtain financing for your business, you need to check out the Power Breakfast and Small Business Pro conferences. My name is Andrew Frazier. One of the things we're here to do is supercharge your day.
Today's Power Breakfast has really been a phenomenal experience. I think it's exactly what business owners need, some true guidance of people who are genuine and really are leading them in the true direction of business growth and expansion.
The Power Breakfast is so important for the entrepreneurial community because it gives the various business people who come together an opportunity to interact and also do some business.
These events, hosted by Andrew Frazier, President and COO of Small Business Like a Pro, will supercharge your day.
Welcome back to Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. I'm here with Jimmy Newson, the Impact Influencer, and we're talking about content that converts. A little bit before the video, you were talking about all the different types of content that you may need to produce as a business owner. But let's take a look at some of them individually and really, we can't cover everything, but maybe some best practices or some things you should be thinking about when you're doing those. So everybody pretty much does a blog post. Does social media posting. So what are some best practices, or what should you be focused on when you're doing a social media post?
Well, yeah. At the end of the day, regardless of it's social media or whatnot, but we'll start with social media. I always say the job of someone posting on social media is to get them off of social media. So you want to try to create a conversation. A lot of times I'll usually start my post with a question, because a question will elicit some type of response, a yes or a no, because it gets their minds thinking. When you make a statement, then they can either agree with it or disagree with it, but there's really no action they can take other than to continue to read. So I always like to look at the content I'm posting, because I'm usually sharing something, whether it's from my blog post, whether it's for an event that we're doing, even with events that I'm doing with you. I'll take the content that I want to share, and then I'll go, what would be the question I would want people to answer in order to determine that this is a good thing to interact with, to engage with. So, leveraging the content in a way, and that can go across all platforms. Now, I know at the end of the day, Facebook is different than Instagram, which is different than LinkedIn. So some posts can work across multiple platforms, but if you really want to take advantage of each platform, then you might want to tweak a bit the message, the graphic, the idea of the post, and understand that's a lot of work. And I understand that. I don't do that all the time. Sometimes I get a little lazy and I'm like, look, I'm going to put this post out across all the platforms. But the funny thing is, when people go, well, which platform should I be on when it comes to content marketing? I go, well, the obvious thing is you need to be on the platform where your audience is at. So if you're on TikTok doing all this crazy stuff, or you're on Instagram, but your audience is on Facebook and LinkedIn, well, you need to get off of those, or you can stay on them, but you need to get on the platforms that your audience exists on. And if you have the ability to manage multiple accounts, then you can add the other ones. So I'm on all the platforms. Now, one thing I'll notice is I have different fans. I have different followers on every single platform. And if you're posting consistently, you're going to see there's your true followers on each platform, and you'll start noticing they are different. So I know I've been doing quite a bit of posting over the last few weeks because of a number of things we're working on. And I can almost guarantee who's going to post, who's going to comment on my Instagram accounts, who's going to comment on my Facebook accounts, and who's going to comment on my LinkedIn account. So at the end of the day, even if you're posting the same content across different platforms, you're doing that because different people prefer other different platforms. There was a time I didn't spend any time on LinkedIn. Now it's my favorite platform, but I still would do stuff on the other platforms. And I still get some level of interaction and engagement. So, but at the end of the day, the job is on social media is to get them off of social media, because until they're off of social media, they do not belong to you. They belong to Facebook. They belong to LinkedIn. They belong to TikTok or whoever owns TikTok. You're just renting them and with an option to buy.
Rent with an option to buy. All right.
and if you don't buy it soon, somebody else is going to steal the house from you.
Okay. All right. So but that's a good point. In a lot of the new things on the digital side, it's about ownership. Historically, the social media channels owned everything, but now with the metaverse and other things, it's really opening up so that there's more ownership in a lot of different ways. So
absolutely. And another thing, and it's great you say that, because earlier you mentioned, and I say this all the time, content is king and queen. The key here is you are a media company, and the more you treat yourself in your organization like a media-based company, the more leverage you're going to have, the more support you're going to have, the more power you're going to have, because you own the content, and now you can distribute that content, you can repurpose that content, you can sell that content. One thing I do know, and I'm starting to deal with a lot of major organizations, I'm talking very big organizations, and I'll tell you, Andrew, the one thing that they all have in common that is a problem for them, so you guys can take this as a tip, write it down, they all suffer from a lack of great content. The bigger you are, the more content you need to produce because you have a bigger audience to satisfy, And so this is where we come in as experts. So we're smaller, but we actually have a lot of power because our ear is closer to the ground. We understand where there might be more problems. We can pivot easily. We can create quicker. There's less of approval process to try things, create different types of content. And we use that to our advantage. And you are a media company. You treat yourself that way, whether you own a plumbing business or you own a consulting business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. In this day and age, there's unlimited demand for content. Not only just posts, even if you write TV shows, you write movies, you write stories, any type of content, there's a lot of demand for, and pretty much into the foreseeable future, it's only going to grow. So, definitely positioning yourself around media, thinking about what you can contribute, where you can contribute the, what you have, and staking your claim. So definitely, talking about that, we talked a little bit about posts. Now, I've done some work with you, and, definitely opened my eyes to a lot of things. And one of the biggest things was on the blog side.
Yes.
Because, at the end of the day, there's a reason that you write a blog and there's a formula for making it work. But I'd say most people have no clue what that is. And even the people who are supposed to be experts at it probably don't really either. So talk to us a little bit about what you should be doing. If you're going to do a blog, you may as well do it right. And what if you need to do a blog right?
Yeah, and so this one is a little meaty. There's two type of blogs that I see people write. They write blogs that are personal in nature, and then they write blogs that are meant to drive traffic. So I'll explain what those two things are. So some people like to write with their voice. And I think blog posts back in the day were really about, people would journal what they were doing, maybe some backyard project or some trip across the country, and people followed those blogs, or, maybe something about their dog or cat and things like that. And those are interesting articles, especially for people that are interested in dogs and cats, or traveling across the world, or some type of woodworking project, and they want to see this project through to the end, and maybe the thought process behind the creator. The problem with that is it's usually not SEO optimized, which means that it can't necessarily drive traffic for those looking to solve a particular problem. So this is where we come in and we go, look, there's got to be a happy medium. People go, well, I don't want to write for a robot. Well, you still got to write for a human that wants to read the content, but you leverage tools that use AI, artificial intelligence, or machine learning to help you create the content, or help you create or find the right content to create that is relevant to your audience, that will lead to a potential sale of your products or services. So when we start writing content, before we even put pen to paper or finger to keyboard, we have to determine what are the key words that people are searching on the internet when they're looking for problems. And as long as there's search, and as long as there's questions, SEO, search engine optimization, now plays a huge part of creating content. So there's nothing worse than creating this huge, beautiful castle in the middle of the desert when no one's looking for it. So the first thing we have to do is we have to determine what are the keywords that we can build content around that are related to our products and services. And then when I talk about keywords, I don't mean the actual keywords of your products or services, because that's assuming that someone already knows who you are. And if they already know who you are, then there's no discovery. So we have to go take a step back and go, what problems or solutions is someone searching for that they have, how can we identify the problem that they're having that our product would serve? That becomes our keyword, and that's how we create content, and we answer the question based on, here's the problem, let's answer the question, let's talk about the problem, and let's provide a solution. And one of those solutions should be our products and service as an option. So you try to, as much as you can, make it unbiased, so it's more helpful to them than some type of infomercial that, an infomercial is all about the products and services and nothing about the person looking. We have to put it into their mindset that, hey, this is a problem and we can help you shed light on options to solve that problem. And so that's what we do when we're creating content, especially at the top of the funnel. Blog posts live at the top of the funnel. This is where we can start to attract people and let them find us in the first place using keywords. They find the articles, they read the articles, they engage with the articles. And like I said, and the step before that is, if the article is not optimized yet, or the article is too new to rank in Google, well, we share it through our networks, through our social media channels, through our email marketing campaigns, because hopefully we have some type of an email list, and we start to generate traffic that way and get some action going on until the article itself can start to rank. And when we talk about ranking, that's a whole nother level. We have to take into account when we're doing blogs, especially if you're just starting out, what is the strength of the domain you have? And if you haven't really been blogging, believe me, you're not going to get a lot of traffic. You're going to have to do either a lot of content and a lot of relevant content, or you find some partners and you write blogs for them and they have a lot of content. So they have a strong domain. You write on their post and get a link back to your website. I do that. I had 2 articles go live this week or last week from 2 different partners that I work for, and they're promoting the heck out of those 2 blog articles. And guess who is getting the attention, the notice? Me, the writer. I have the link back to my site, but then people are reading the article and then they're either friending me on Facebook or they're friending me on LinkedIn, or they're going directly to my website. Now, and this is where blogging is a huge component of new traffic discovery for your brand. And then it's your job to leverage content beyond that to keep them engaged until you can figure out a way to get a conversion from them, whatever that might be.
Okay. So, yeah, so definitely, those are key things I've learned. But, one other thing I think I learned from working with you, and it's important to understand, is you have to have a strategy behind what you're doing and understand, the time frame. Like, you're not going to write a blog tomorrow and have 1 million customers as a result.
Oh, yeah.
It's more of a longer term strategy.
Well, blogging, and I'll touch on that. So blogging is an SEO tactic, and SEO takes time. There's 2 ways, there's multiple ways to get traffic, but the 2 main ways that a business can get traffic is through SEO or paid advertisement. So and people go, well, which one should I do? And I go, at the end of the day, if you want transactions, you have to do both. Why? Google ads or Facebook ads, social media ads, and this could be video ads on YouTube or ads on LinkedIn or static ads on LinkedIn. Google ads give you instant connection. People are searching for something, they find you. Maybe if they on Google ads are more active. People are searching, they come up. Social media ads are more passive. They're scrolling, but they see the ad. But you're able to target people based on particular behaviors. So there's one way. And so there's your paid ads. The SEO takes time, But if you do it and you build it properly with a strategy and you start creating content and you start to gain momentum with that particular type of content, well, that traffic eventually will start to build up the momentum and the strength of the website. And then that content could actually start ranking. And the cool thing about it, unless someone decides to write content and try to outdo you, that content can live, and if it's written well, can really start to drive some great traffic to your website. And this could sometimes take 6 months to a year of consistent blogging. So you may ask, well, how many blogs do I need to write? Well, it depends on a number of things. One, it depends on the competition. So you should be looking to understand who's my competition and are they blogging? And if they're blogging, how often are they blogging? You want to see who's showing up in the top 10 on page 1 for certain keywords you want to rank for. And then you have to look at the blog itself. There's an actual opportunity to analyze the blog post, to determine what's the word count. How many backlinks are linking back to this from other people's websites? Because these are also things that take into consideration. So I know you mentioned earlier about, writing. Some people are writing blogs, but they're not necessarily doing it right. That's because writers are sometimes not SEO experts, and SEO experts are not sometimes really good writers. Those are two different things. But if you can find someone who is a great writer but also understands SEO, you're going to have a better opportunity because of that combination that individual has, potentially starting to actually rank some content, because you can write an incredible piece of content as a writer. It's like the most artistic Van Gogh thing you've ever written. But if it has no SEO qualities, it's not going to rank SEO wise and bring you new traffic.
Yeah, so I mean that's very important, and actually, as a business owner, or if you're thinking about being a business owner, one of the most important things you can do is learn how to write content and understand how to match content plus SEO, because there aren't a lot of people who understand that, and that's where everything's going. So and actually, if you, I bet if you could find someone who could do that well, you would hire them in a
Absolutely.
minute. So if you're looking for a job or a business area that's growing, understanding this stuff is very helpful. So
understanding this is extremely helpful. You can understand how to do this. Again, going back to when I'm talking to even major corporations, everybody's having issues coming up with enough content to feed the beast. And like I said, when I know websites that are doing millions of visitors a month. You realize the amount of potential customers from that traffic is huge. So Michelle says, so what are some strategies? Okay, so let me dive into some strategies. So at the end of the day, I don't do anything by my gut. Okay, everything is based on tools. You need to engage a tool, because the tools give you the insight of the type of content that you can write, and some of the tools will even give you the structure on how to write it. Some of the tools I use are a tool called Href. You can just Google them. Another tool is called SEMrush. There's another tool called Uber Suggest. Now, these are keyword-based tools, but they do a lot more. They're content marketing-based tools to a degree. And these help you understand, before I even think about writing a piece of content, I come up with an idea. I go, I got a product. So let's do it like this. So you got a product or you got a service. The first question I ask is, what does this product solve? What goals does this product or service help people do? And then that becomes your keyword. So I'll use a prime example. I'm going to use one of the oldest products on the planet is fire. Okay. Fire. I'm going to sell you fire. Now, how can I sell you fire? I can sell you fire 4 ways. I can sell you fire to heat your house. That's one type of fire. I can sell you fire to light your house so you can see. I can sell you fire to cook your food. That's 3 ways. And then 4, I can sell you fire if I want to ignite a fire under you as an entrepreneur so you get things done. So those are 4 ways I can sell you fire. Now, those are 4 different types of people. So now you have to determine what are the characteristics of each one of these people. Is it a female? Is it a male? Is it a child? Is it a teenager? Is it an adult? And when you can define it's a male, and he, so let's use heating fire. It's a male. He's 35 years old. He has a specific type of job. Well, now you can position that fire from a heating perspective to heat his house. So when he finds it, the objective is, are you tired of freezing every night when the sun goes down? That's a problem. I didn't mention fire. I mentioned the problem. Then I write content around how that's a problem and what can I do about it? Well, I think one of the best things you can do is you can invest in this new thing I got to sell you called fire. And the amazing thing about fire is you never have to be cold again. So there's the reveal based on the problem I was having. So that's how you want to look at your product. So if your product, I got this phone here. The phone helps me keep in touch with my family. The phone helps me work on the train when in between me going from my job to my house or vice versa. So the problems that it helps me solve is I can continue to get stuff done. I can talk to loved ones when I'm feeling sad. I can reach out to people I haven't spoken to in years. So I create content around those topics, and then I reveal the phone as a way for that to continue, for that to happen. And so that's one way we look at this. So it's, you can talk all day about the phone, but if no one's searching for the phone, they don't, they're creatures that need problem solved. So you're a problem solver. So you keep that in mind and go, how do I write content around problems and then reveal my product or service as a potential solution to that problem? And again, that's top of the funnel. In the middle of the funnel, it might be a phone that is the solution, but how many phones are there? They got iPhone, you got the Android phone, you got the Nokia phone. I don't even know if that's even a thing anymore. So say I'm the owner of iPhone. Well, so I'll start talking about phones. Phones are a great way to keep in touch with people. And, and it's better than the old school Morse code and this and that, because you're giving them some information and data. And now they're going, yeah. So they're searching for phones because they figured out it's a phone. Now they need to choose between your phone, your iPhone. They need to choose between the Android. They need to choose between any other mode of phone communication. And that's your middle of the content where you're talking about the ideal of the product. And then you reveal your particular brand. And then at the bottom of the funnel, now you're creating comparison charts. So you might compare your iPhone to the Android, to the other phone, because now they've determined that the iPhone might be the thing for me. So what I need to look at is how, what are the features of this? And think about this when you're looking for software or you're looking for clothing or specific things. Now you've determined that you want to buy this piece of this, whatever it might be. Maybe it's these headphones. You need new headphones. You want to buy it, but now you're looking for specific features. What do I want in this headphone? And if there's a great comparison chart out there that compares the Samsung headphones to the Nokia headphones, well, and you see the differences, comparison content is some of the best converting content because you're catching people at the bottom of the funnel and they already have decided I need headphones. They just trying to debate on which ones I need. Now, here's the great news for an unknown brand. So say you've got a major player in your audience or in your industry, in your vertical. Do a comparison chart. If you know that, iPhone is one of the greatest phones on the planet, but I have a phone that's a little bit different than iPhone. And some people might prefer that over the iPhone. Well, you do a comparison chart against the iPhone and go, yeah, they're great at this, and this, but I'm great at this, and this. And at the end of the day, the person now makes a decision, well, which one of these features and benefits are the best for me at this point? And that's how we choose how to go with product A over product B. Now, the great thing about comparing yourself to a national or big name brand is they're not searching for you, but they will search for a comparison or an alternative to the iPhone, an alternative to a specific bank, an alternative to a specific type of clothing brand, or even makeup brand, because maybe I don't want to use this makeup line because they do testing on animals. So you might go, I'm not going to say a brand because I don't really know. I don't have any makeup on so I don't wear any, but I might go, what is it a good alternative to this brand of makeup? And if you created some type of comparison chart, your chart could possibly show up, not because of your brand, but because of the competitor's brand who already has search on their product. So you can like hijack some of their traffic.
All right. So hijacking the traffic.
Hijack it, baby.
All right. So, well, as a small business, you can be nimble and flexible and do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely, there's so much to cover in this that we can't cover everything, but a couple things that can be helpful. Number one, Jimmy's company, Moving Forward Small Business. He's got some great content there, and you just did a series on. So talk a little bit about the series that you just did.
Absolutely.
Recently.
So I just recently, and it's available. It's a 6-part series, and actually the entire series is available on replay. And I did this series in January into February, and it's on competitive analysis. And I actually do a section on content marketing. Okay. Yep. And there it is there. So if you click through, you'll end up on the replay page. And the objective here is, the reason why I chose this as our first series of the year is because, we're 2 years into a pandemic. Every business on the planet has been affected, which means the entire landscape has changed. And not only has the entire landscape changed, you have tons of businesses that have went online that weren't online. So you have a lot more competition online. And then you add to that 4.3 million new business applications were filed in 2020, up by, I think, 30% from 2019. So can you imagine the amount of traffic, the amount of competition online? So now you have to be able to differentiate yourself from that competition. But in order for you to differentiate yourself from your competitors, you need to understand who your competitors are, how well they're doing. So you're looking at their SEO strategy. You're looking at how well their websites are optimized. You're looking at, what content are they posting, not only on their website as articles, but on their social media channels. What social media channels are they using? You can see all this stuff when you leverage a tool like Ahrefs or SEMrush or BuzzSumo, or Uber Suggest, or even the keyword planner tool, which is free through Google. So the key here, and in these tools, I dive deep into them. So this conversation that we're having right now, I'm having with you, Andrew, is really more of an overview. But in this training, I actually use the tools so you can figure it out, because sometimes the way I explain it is it's not so easy to understand. Yeah, I get it, but I don't know how to do it. Well, that's what my training does. I dive deep into the tool and go, here's how you figure out how your competitor is kicking your butt. And now but it also gives you a strategy to understand, well, what do I need to do to beat out those competitors? And you need to leverage tools and technology and strategy, innovation, technology, and strategy to create a blueprint that helps you figure out what is my next step and how can that help me win. And one last thing is, we're actually launching a new series starting next week. And you'll go on the site as well, and it's actually SEO specific. So and we're going to be doing huge deep dives, and we're going to be using the Ahrefs tool. So if you are interested in that, the local SEO and organic SEO strategies, that there really is a buildup, or it is a step-by-step of what we're kind of talking about today. So if you are interested in trying to really understand this is where you're going to go to get actual strategies to help you get started. So that's a little plug, but I think it's relevant to what we're talking about here today.
And you have something else coming up pretty soon as a new series as well, right?
And I have a series with you coming up, and it is the profit maximization series. And when does that kick off? Scroll down a little bit. I got to remember when that one kicks off. It's that's 12 months. All right. I think I just have to link them for you. But I think we kick off in April for your series. And you could talk a little bit about your series, because I'm marketing, you're finance. So, for moving forward small business, it's more than just one mode. One modem is marketing, it's finance, it's HR. And, I'm just an expert in one. And I'm bringing on experts in other areas that can really help you fulfill that, because not everybody has the same problems.
Right. No, I mean, definitely, moving forward, small business, what you're doing there is tremendous. Really bringing together expertise and resources in a really good way, and especially on the digital marketing side, because not many people can really speak to it the way that you can. But profit maximization is about being able to create as much value and as much profit out of what you do by running your business better and managing your business more effectively for efficiency and savings, and different strategies. So look forward to doing the series with you, and definitely glad to be part of it.
Thank you.
So definitely we've covered some stuff.
Can I say throw one last thing in there?
Sure.
And what I want everybody here to realize is, look, I can't speak for Andrew, but I can speak for myself. It took me a long time to learn a lot of this stuff, and a lot of it I had to learn on my own. And I wish I had someone that could shortcut this to a degree and help me move along faster and point me in the right direction. That's what we're trying to do here. That's why SP Pro University exists. That's why Moving Forward Small Business exists. I'm not interested in selling you something. I'm interested in helping elevate you, because when I elevate you, now you're generating revenue, and then you can afford to hire the professionals you need to hire to do things, because there is so much to do. And there's a shoddy way to do it, and there's a professional way to do it. If you're going to do it, you do it big or you go home.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, outstanding content, definitely to hear from someone else like Jimmy, or to sit in the room with them, it's not inexpensive. So definitely excited about having him at my event at the conference on Thursday. I showed a quick video, but let me just walk you through what the event is, because I think that'll be helpful for people. And then we'll come back and talk a little bit more with Jimmy about sort of digital media content, and then we'll close things out from there. So let's take a look real quick. Let me share my screen. And okay, so
you're welcome, Michelle. Michelle says thank you.
Okay, great. So we've got the conference. It's tremendous networking. It's a full day. And we've got 4 key sessions. Leadership in challenging times. CEO of NJMEP, John Kennedy, is going to bring a message from an outstanding leader. We're going to have a panel on accessing capital in the current environment, and expert panelists who have expertise in different areas of financing. For lunch, you saw our keynote is Precious Williams. You saw her in the video. She brings a lot of energy, a lot of power, and really talks about how to pitch effectively, and really use that as a way to increase your profitability and get conversions. And then finally, Jimmy's going to wrap it up with what every business owner needs to know about digital marketing. So definitely a full day. If you can be in there in person, it's tremendous networking, a lot of energy. If for some reason you can't, we are streaming some of the sessions. So we're going to be live streaming some of the sessions. So you can join in and pick which sessions and register for the sessions that interest you the most. So I put the links for both of those in the chat. So definitely join us live, or join us live stream if you can. So looking forward to that. And we've got a lot of people that are going to be there that it's real exciting. So let me just got a lot of people who want to say hello. So let's see what we got. So this is from our finance panel. This is Alex Merriman. We've worked together for several years now. Alex has lent my clients millions of dollars. Yes. So he's a good guy to know.
Once again, my name is Alex Marin. I'm Vice President of Commercial and Industrial Lending, Spencer Savings Bank here in New Jersey.
You've got a wealth of experience. Thing that's key that you think someone seeking financing should know.
Yes, one word, preparation. That's probably the most important word, because I think a lot of people come for financing unprepared, and that's where it really goes awry. So I think when you join teams with somebody like Andrew, who helps you prepare for that moment, there's a much better chance or higher possibility of actually being approved and getting that financing. So again, like Andrew said, I've given millions of dollars, not given, excuse me, less preparation. That is really what you need.
Hi everyone, I'm Leila Andrade from M&T Bank and looking forward to see you at the Small Business Power Breakfast and Conference. We can
Now.
Hey everyone, Jimmy Newson here, and I look forward to seeing you at the Small Business Power Breakfast and Conference.
Hello, Ellen McHenry, Senior Director of Financial Programs at UC-EDC. UC-EDC is an economic development corporation helping small businesses, whether they be pure startups or businesses looking to expand. We provide finance.
Hi, I'm Alejandra Giron with Valley Bank, and I look forward to seeing you at the Small Business Power Breakfast and Conference. Every small business has their plans. Let's talk about yours.
Okay, great. So definitely join us all there. Look forward to it. So Jimmy, let's we're going to wrap things up shortly.
Sure.
But one of the key things we talked about, and as far as content, you had mentioned inbound.
Yes.
So we didn't quite get to that. So share a little bit about that before we close out.
All right, I have a whole presentation on inbound, so I cannot do it justice at all.
Okay.
But I can tell you, inbound marketing is about using the right content to attract the right people at the right time, and you're leveraging what we call the buyer's journey, and we're leveraging the inbound marketing methodology, which is 4 stages: attract, convert, close, and delight. So it's an entire process. But about this process includes any and everything you could possibly do online, and it puts it in a place. So if you're doing social media channels, where that social media marketing, where that belongs. You're doing blogging, where that belongs. If you're optimizing your website as the hub of your digital presence, where that belongs. If you're emailing people and you're creating nurture campaigns that kind of, after they opt in, that it doesn't stop there. You need to nurture them over a period of time until you find the ones that are hot, your hot leads that are ready to make the next step. And there are signals that you can watch that allow you to understand, is this the appropriate time to reach out to them? If you're engaging in your content through a specific series of steps, the closer they get to the finish line, the hotter they are. And you can kind of know those are the people I want to reach out to help them answer any questions that might be holding them back from taking that next step and engaging with your products or engaging with your services. You should be leveraging a CRM, customer relationship management tool, that helps you track all this stuff. So there's a lot of things when we talk about inbound marketing, but the specific goal of inbound marketing is to leverage content to specifically target people and turn them into customers. So content marketing, you're engaging them and you're keeping them entertained and figuring out what's going to be the content that drive to bring them in. Inbound is you're going, I want you, and and here are the carrots that lead you directly to me. For lack of a better way. But I know at the end of the day, we're producing programming that shows you how to do that, because saying it and doing it are 2 different things. So for those that do want to understand more of how to do this stuff, you can connect on LinkedIn or whatnot, and I'll get you access to the programming that we do that will dive deep in and go, oh, so this is actually how you do it, because it is a process. There are steps, and if you do them, you should see some level of results if you're consistent, not doing it once in a while, consistently.
Okay, no, consistency is key. But one thing, want to step it back because you talked about a whole bunch of stuff. It could be super overwhelming for people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something you have to do everything and all at once. And the other thing is, as a business owner, your most important job is marketing and selling. Mm-hmm. And digital marketing is marketing, but it's a component of marketing. You have to have your overall marketing strategy and figure out how digital marketing fits into that strategy.
Absolutely.
And, nowadays, digital marketing is becoming a bigger and bigger piece to deliver on your strategy, but you have to develop, understand your marketing strategy before you can figure out what you're doing as far as digital marketing in many ways, right?
Yeah. Well, and what I always tell people, whether you've been in business, you just started your business yesterday, or you've been in business 20 years, if you don't have a business plan, the business plan sets you up with not only your business plan, but also some level of a marketing plan within that business plan. And that is what you're referring to. And so a lot of people, they focus on the fact that I'm already a great whatever I am, and I don't need a business plan. I'll just go into business. There's no better time to just stop for a second, pause, and create the business plan, because that if you don't, then you're just building a castle on top of sand. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna in this aspect, I'm assuming you have some type of plan, because if you engage me, I give you just so you know, when someone engages me, and I think I did it with you, I give you a form to fill out, and it's got nothing to do with digital marketing. It's all about the foundation of your business. Because if I don't understand the foundation of your business, I can't do a marketing strategy for you, because I need to make sure you know what your purpose, vision, and mission is. You understand your target market. Do you have your personas? How many of them do you have? Who are your competitors? Why are you different? What's your USP? What's your UVP? Unique selling proposition, unique value proposition. So I'm assuming you have all this stuff together when I'm now talking about content marketing, because this is up here. So you got all these stages that should be to some degree in place, or maybe you just need to clean them up.
Okay.
All right. So let me. So Jacqueline says, "How do you do a business plan without knowing who your customers are?" You want to take that, or you want me to take that?
Well, I'll start it. You can finish it off.
Okay.
So, at the end of the day, the most important part of your business plan is the marketing plan, and it starts off with market research and researching to find out, basically who will value what you're doing the most and is most likely to buy your products or services. So you're providing a solution to their wants, needs, or desires, and who values that solution the most, and who are they? How many of them are there? Where are they? How do you reach them? Is the first step, and that research that is the development of your business plan.
Absolutely, and I'll second that. I wouldn't do anything else until I figured out who my customers are, because everything is based on them. Especially when you're talking about content marketing. Content marketing is focused on an individual. So if you're not sure who your target audience is or your ideal customer is, then you have to do that initial research. And sometimes it's simple as understanding who your competitors are and going, if your competitors have the same, have similar products and services, it's a good chance that they might have this, that you both are attracting the same type of customer. So there's ways of figuring out who your customer is, but that comes way before you start doing any type of marketing strategy, because the marketing strategy is built on the person you're trying to target.
Okay. No, excellent. Great question though, because business plans can be difficult and scary, but at the end of the day, the first and most important piece is doing the research to do your marketing strategy and your marketing plan. So take it in steps. You don't go from 1 to 10. You got to go on 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So definitely, this is just a little tiny bit of digital marketing, just to give Jimmy an opportunity to share a little bit about content because it's so important. But there's a lot more that you have to learn. Definitely join us Thursday afternoon. Jimmy's going to be talking with his panel about some of the basic things that you need to know as a business owner in terms of digital marketing. Check out his series on moving forward small business. That's an outstanding series. I attended several of them. I learned things, and not only that, it's not just on developing your plan.
Absolutely.
So definitely check that out. Jimmy, you're always a great guest. Love to have you on. Of course, we're going to have you on more often. I think you're going to be like a regular. And
I'm good with that.
This is perfect. Anything else you want to share before we close out?
I'll share it. And like you said before, I mean, yes, this can be overwhelming. And the problem is there's a lot. I want you to remember that nothing comes easy. And so if we can just take it back to the fact that at the end of the day, here's the two things that I usually want the most from when I start working with someone, just so you know. I want to know who your competition is. If I know who your competition is, I can understand who the target audience is who possibly is. I can understand the size of the industry. I can understand a little bit more about the products and services, and I can also understand what could be some driving forces that's moving the industry. So so the key is to pick the right type of competitors. So if you can start there, that's one key element of understanding, especially if you have no traffic, you have no customers yet, or you have very little customers. You leverage other people's data. You want that data. And from there, the world starts to open up. And then you can kind of determine step by step, well, what should I do? What's my next step? Should I be creating content, or should I be focusing on my home first? And so that is another thing here. And that's kind of what we're going to address in this series I got started next week is, your website is your home. So before you start trying to bring in traffic, you need to make sure your website is ready to receive traffic. And if you make sure that your website is 100% optimized, there are no major issues with the site in regards to Google's ability to index your website. All these things, all your sales pages are optimized. All your standard pages, your about us, your homepage are all optimized. Then you can start thinking about creating content because then that lives on top of a really well-oiled machine, which is your website, which at the end of the day is your digital marketing hub.
Well, there you have it. Start with the first things first. Start with your website. Clean up your house before you invite people in. That's a great way to close out. So Absolutely. Thanks again, Jimmy. Always a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you Thursday in person.
And I wear a suit. I wear a suit.
You wear a suit?
For you.
Oh, man. You don't have to.
I actually like suits. I haven't worn one in a while, so I'm looking forward to being in one.
Okay. All right. Cool. And definitely appreciate all the comments this evening and questions. Keep them coming. We do this for you so that you can learn things that'll help you be more successful in business, because that's really what our goal and mission is. So take it easy. Hang on for a minute, Jimmy. I'm going to close things out, and we'll get ready to move forward. So
see you later.
Okay, great. So another great episode. Looking forward to the conference on Thursday, and then next week we'll be back live at 8:05 talking small business. So, but at the end of the day, one of the most important things for you as a business owner is the more that you know, the faster your business will grow.
Thank you for listening to Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbpro.u.com.